are speaking today with Representative Tarah Probst. You proposed legislation to commemorate August 19th as Marion Munley Day in Pennsylvania. Who was Marion Munley?
Well, Marion Munley was a trailblazer. She was born before women even had the right to vote. She was the wife of Robert Munley, and he was in the House of Representatives, and he died unexpectedly in the late 1940s, and she ran for his seat. And she was the first woman in the Northeast to be able to serve in the House of Representatives as a female, of course, but then also to go on and win multiple times after. She was also a trailblazer in other ways. She was the first Democratic caucus secretary. And on top of all that, more importantly, which I think is something to, I always say it's something to be reckoned with, she was the first to get legislation for equal pay for women. And that was at a time when women couldn't even own their own credit cards. So she was a trailblazer, and all of the stories that I've been told about her, everybody says the same thing. She was a trailblazer. She was a piece of work. She was a character. She worked so hard. And, even in today's world, I feel like women have to work twice as hard to prove themselves. So imagine everything and every obstacle that she went through, and she succeeded. So to me, she is to be commemorated.
What made Marion Munley stand out to you and make you want to commemorate a day in her honor?
She was a first. And, I was a first female mayor in an over 200-year history in Stroudsburg, for the borough of Stroudsburg. She was a first to talk about equal pay for women. She was, the first to say, I'm going to be a state representative and be the first woman in Northeast Pennsylvania to, represent her district. So I think all of those things as a female are important to me. And I think they should be important for all women, who follow me.
The co-sponsors of this legislation were all from northeastern PA. What does this day mean to that region of the state?
Well, listen, I'm so proud to work with the people that I do in the Northeast. We have such a great Northeast caucus, and we understand our districts better than anybody. And I think it means a lot to us because Marion Munley understood those issues too from, Northeast towns. And by her being able to run and accomplish the things that she's accomplished and make lives for her constituents better, it really, I think we have a legacy to follow. And I know that Bridget Kozorowski was the first woman to serve office in the Northeast since Marion Munley. And Bridget is a colleague of mine, and she's wonderful. So I just think that we are trying to do the right things for our constituents, the right things for our districts. We know our districts better than anybody. And I just think that, having the first woman in the Northeast, it's inspiring to all of us.
How does Marion Munley's legacy live on in northeastern Pennsylvania and in the Pennsylvania House of Representatives?
Well, her legacy lives on, obviously, through her children and her grandchildren, right? And her great-grandchildren. You take her great-grandchild, Marion Munley, who is one of the top lawyers in the country. You take, really the whole family. They're, civil servants. They're lawyers. They basically do so much, for the Northeast when it comes to charities and things like that. So her life of service was just passed down from generation to generation. And one thing I'll say about all of them, including her one granddaughter who's a judge, they are all hard workers. They are hard workers. Nothing that they do is not without, sweat on their hands, because they work, each and every one of them that I know, they're constantly working, trying to make their communities better, and they always are fighting for the ones that can't fight for themselves. And I think that that is such an awesome trait to have, and I think that carries on generation through generation.
Final question, what can Pennsylvania all learn from Marion Munley and her life?
Well, Pennsylvania can learn a lot from Marion Munley, that when times are tough, and believe me, she lost her husband unexpectedly with children. When times are tough, you do the best you can, and you try to be the best you can be and move forward. And especially in the time frame when she came into office, women weren't there. Women couldn't even own a credit card. Women had virtually not many rights. Let me just say that. And I think that it shows that we all have the spirit in us to do better, to want better for future generations. And I think that Marion Munley is someone that we can all look up to, who aspired to do that, and she did just that.
We've been speaking with Tarah Probst. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Have a great day.